everybody? This is your girl CC with Where It Begins magazine. And usually we have my co-host Nikki Monday on the line, but he's not feeling well today. But we have a special guest on the line. I'm gonna let him introduce himself or where he's from and what he does.
Hey everybody. Hi CC. Hey Mickey. Honored to be on the show. My name is David Franz. I am the founder of Underground Sun Records. I also work at LinkedIn Learning, and I'm a music producer and artist, and sometimes TV show host.
Okay. Well, what motivated you to do all these things?
Creativity. I think it's just music is a driving force, and it kind of informs everything that I do. But it's, with the pandemic and everything, this year running a record label has been particularly challenging, and we had to find some new ways to do it. So we kind of branched off into expanding our YouTube channel and doing video production for some shows that kind of show off what the record label and all the artists are all about. So since we couldn't be out playing, we figured we'd try to do some of that stuff.
I got you.
Yeah.
But tell everybody what Underground Sun is and what everything you do up under that scale, Underground Sun.
Sure. Yeah. Underground Sun has been around. Oh boy, it's almost getting to be about 20 years. It started back in Boston, and just been gradually growing from like a production house to an artist development company, and now to a full-fledged indie record label. We do, from the very beginnings of creating songs. I love collaborating with artists, particularly singers, to help them realize their musical visions. And then taking the songs, producing them, mixing them, mastering, doing video productions, doing crowdfunding, helping with music licensing, publishing, all the things to get the music out there. And then sometimes get to tour. One of the artists that is on the label, we've gotten to tour all over the world, so that's been super fun. And it opens up collaborations to all kinds of people, so like you're based in Atlanta or in Georgia, right?
Yes, I'm in Atlanta. He's in the DMV area.
Yeah. Well, I have strong ties down there. My dad lives in Atlanta, and I have some good friends. JJ Boogie, who's in Arrested Development and Speech, and I've worked with those guys a little bit. So they're Atlanta based. So it's kind of, I love how music can, just go everywhere. So that's, Underground Sun now is, a lot of our focus is on music videos and shows about music. So that's where we're coming from. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a bookworm, and I know you have a book out, so I want to talk a little bit about your book.
Okay. I don't know that it's one that you would want to read down, but it's a book about using Pro Tools and doing music production. I have a few versions of it, and a second one called Producing in the Home Studio, or wait, what is it called? I don't even remember the title. It's been a while. Producing and recording in the home studio, that's what it's called. But yeah, so it's about music production, and so like being able to utilize all of the skills of like what goes into a producer's mind and an engineer's mind, and how an artist can kind of use all of those things together and kind of wear all the hats at one time to produce their own music. And this came out, it came out when Pro Tools was first kind of coming into the home studio, and now everybody has home studios. So it was kind of like, it was actually the first book about Pro Tools. So it was, I don't know, groundbreaking or something in that it kind of opened up the world to being able to do everything at home.
Well, that's a good thing. And you talking about we don't need to read that. That would be the time to read it while everybody's at home.
Fair enough, right? That's true.
Exactly. So who are some people that's been your biggest influencers or motivation?
Oh my gosh. From the music side, I was kind of, my top three are always, there's the Beatles, but then there's Stevie Wonder and Prince. And those are the three that have always been the top for me for forever, ever since I was a kid. On the, I mean, so many influences. There's, all kinds of life stuff. So I have just finished reading the Dalai Lama's book, The Art of Happiness, which has changed my inner voice a lot. That's super powerful. On the business front, there's like so many inspirations. I'm trying to think of like, I look at like people who run indie record labels that have gotten bigger. I think about like Daniel Glass and like some of those guys. Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, I'm just right now, I feel like, I don't know if you're the same way, but like right now, sitting at home, you're like, there's so much to do. There's so many influences coming at you. And I'm like a sponge right now, just bringing in so many influences.
That's fine. That's fine. So, what's been your biggest accomplishment?
Being on the show.
Oh,
come on. I'm happy to be here. I don't know. How do you answer that? I mean, it's starting the record label, I think, personally, like playing some shows in front of like lots of folks, those have been like some really big ones. Some of the best memories, playing a show in Russia, in Red Square, like in that area, or like, playing in front of thousands of people in, Croatia or something like that. It's just like really, the gigs kind of like are the connectors to people to me. And so that's where I get the most enjoyment. Some of the shows that we've done, like some of the, the creative outlets that, I never thought that I would do. Those have been some big ones. Yeah.
Well, out of all the places that you've been, since you mentioned Russia, out of all the places that you've been, what has been the most memorable one or the best place you've been?
Well, we played a really crazy party in Moscow one time. Oh my gosh, I probably shouldn't even tell these stories, but there's like big concerts. One of the really great ones, we were in Morocco, and there's they'd put on this giant festival down by the river, and I'm spacing on the name of the town, but they have the huge bazaar there and giant stages. And we went on this stage. It was one of those moments where you're just like, is this for real? Because Justin Timberlake had played on the stage the night before. And then we come out and it's this humongous stage. And we're like, what are we doing here? But thousands and thousands of people showed up and were just dancing like crazy. And they had the big, lights in the back shining down. And like I'm playing bass and like the bass is just rumbling everything. And we're just playing in this amazing environment. I'm like, this is what this is all about. The connection with, so many people and just feeling it. Yeah, that was powerful.
It sounds like it too. I would have loved to be there. Just you picture and you give us the statement of it, it felt like it was very powerful, definitely. Can you give us any advice to anybody that would want to be an artist or entrepreneur?
Oh man, lots.
Yeah. Just give us 3.
What's that?
Just give us 3.
3. Okay. Well, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. You're gonna be very challenged. I mean, you're running a show, you're running a magazine, like you have to be really dedicated. So it's not going to be something that just happens, and it has to grow. It takes a lot of time to grow. That can be super frustrating. Especially in these days where you're like, look, you can see the immediate impact, where it's like, how many people watched the show? How many people liked my comment? Like, and if it doesn't hit a number in a certain amount of time, you're like, oh, what does that mean? Does that mean I'm popular? Does that mean I suck? So there's the mentality of that, and getting through that the challenges of your own mind kind of speaking against you. I found that to be a huge one that I've been really trying to address this year. And it's having, I think, really good impact by like quieting that inner voice that is saying the negative stuff. Let's see, other business entrepreneurial things. Iteration, I think, is really key. Finding out what works and what doesn't work and pivoting kind of quickly. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying all kinds of different formats for the shows. I'm trying different formats for music, trying different songs, different sounds, what's connecting with people, what's not connecting. You have to be, I think it's interesting to iterate and to kind of push the boundaries and see where people actually are connecting with you. And then a third piece for entrepreneurs. I mean, there's some boring stuff like the business side, like really getting your ducks in a row, but that's pretty obvious. Let me think here. I mean, I think teamwork is really, that's what I'm finding to provide so much of the joy in this. And I've historically been like sort of a one-man operation. I'll bring in a few people here and there, but right now I'm like expanding the team a lot, and it's motivating in a way that you don't get, even if you're really self-motivated, if you have other people like waiting on stuff for you or other people inspiring you to be better. I'm finding a lot of power and not internal like energy from that, where it's like I want to actually impress the people that I'm working with and always be better. So that's constantly pushing me to higher levels.
Okay. So what's your goals for 2021?
Well, I'm trying to lose a little weight. I'm trying to be healthier. I bought a rowing machine, so I'm doing a little bit of,
Okay.
yeah, eating healthier. 2020 was a different kind of year altogether. So I'm trying to make a lot of like healthy changes, which I think is helping, mental health and everything, and spreading good energy. And I mean, there's so many external things that are affecting that in positive ways right now too. So that's good. Society, in our society. But yeah, I mean, this year, okay, so a huge one. I'm putting out my own record. First time I've come out from behind the producer side of things.
Oh.
So yeah, this is pretty big. So in June, that'll be coming out. And then yeah, I mean, Underground Sun, and a lot of the stuff I'm doing with LinkedIn Learning is powerful too. Like we're really trying to, I mean, we're doing some really big diversity, inclusion, and belonging things that I'm really passionate about at that company on a really big scale. So that's adding a lot of personal fire to a lot of stuff that I'm doing. And Underground Sun, just trying to elevate from 2020. So it's a big year. I'm very excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I want to go back. Back because you're releasing a record in June. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So can we get the title, the name? Can we get something?
Well, I think I'm gonna put it out under my own name. Been through.
I mean, what's the name of the album gonna be, or the name of the song gonna be?
Yeah. Probably the single will probably be called Baby Please. I think the album is going to be called The Unknown. Still figuring that out, but a lot of the themes are some of the things I touched on earlier, where it's like sort of looking in the mirror and figuring out what's working for you and what's not, and then trying to grow beyond that. And so that's what I look at, like 2020 into 2021, where we've done a lot of growing collectively, and had a lot of time to look at ourselves and look at some of the stuff that we don't like, and potentially put that aside and move forward. So that's what a lot of the themes are. Yeah.
But what has been the challenge between that transition from being like the producer to being actually the artist? What has been that challenge for you?
Okay, the biggest one is my voice, right? So when someone else is singing, usually I'm the musician sort of behind the scenes, kind of doing that stuff, and super comfortable with that, whatever instrument. But when you put your voice out there, when you're, this is your truest instrument, right? And to hear your own voice, and to not beat yourself up as much, because not a lot of people like the sound of their own voices when they're recorded. So to hear that, and to like have acceptance for yourself and your sound, and what you can do, and maybe what you can't do, and just be okay with it. That's been the biggest challenge by far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are some people that's going to be on this album?
Well, I recorded in a studio here. I live in Ojai, California, which is outside of LA, by about an hour and a half. And there's a really amazing pro studio up here called Carbonite. And this town is actually filled with a lot of folks that sort of have been in the LA scene, but kind of moved out of it. And we're like, hey, we want to get out of this, like the craziness of LA, and we want to kind of be close, but like a little out in this nice little secluded area. So there's a super great studio and a lot of really great players. And so literally right before the lockdown happened, this was mid-February of last year, a fortuitous event happened where the studio was open. All of the musicians that I wanted to be on it were available, and the producer that I was working on with it, his name is Will Robertson. He flew in. He lives in Atlanta. And he runs Gallup Studios in Atlanta. He's up for a Grammy this year. I'm so stoked for him. So he's been one of my best friends for a really long time. I try to work on music with him as much as I possibly can. So he flew up, and we got all the musicians together. So there's Jesse Siebenberg and Sid Sidney on drums. Jesse Siebenberg, he's playing keys and slide guitars and anything he gets his hands on. He's a genius on that. Brendan Willie James is on some guitars. I got Tim Arlen on organs. Will's playing some stuff, and Daniel is playing bass. So it's just like we've got this amazing, local but very experienced band to come together. And so I'm just super blessed that everybody was available and could get together.
Okay, well, congratulations. I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait till it come out in June. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Definitely. So we have 2 trivia questions for you.
Okay, bring it on.
It's just really, really basic questions. It's not hard. So mine is, what's the worst gift you ever received?
Okay. I was a senior in high school, and my parents for Christmas, for some reason, decided to go a different route for me for my Christmas gift. My brother, he got like the coolest gifts. He got like a bike, and he got a boom box and all this cool stuff. I have this big box. I'm like waiting to open it up, and I open it up, and it's a bookshelf. I'm like, Mom and Dad, what are you doing? A bookshelf for a, come on, really? That was
But
just,
were you a book reader? Do you
well,
read
I
a lot of books?
mean, yeah, but they're like, oh, let's just get them some furniture. I guess I don't know what. It's just, I'm like, but I wanted a boombox or a bike. Come on, like, I'm so jealous of my brother.
Well, for me, I would have loved the bookshelf because I love books. So
Well,
I could understand that. But
now, yeah, now I'm like, I would take that in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Okay, so Mickey Monday's question is, what has been the best concert you've ever been to?
Okay. All right. Well, I have to answer with three. I'm
Okay.
sorry that it's not one. Number two and number three are Prince.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got to see him twice and he blew me away. However, I went to see Peter Gabriel at the Santa Barbara Bowl. And that show, just where, like, I had the perfect seat. I was right in front of the sound booth, so I had the best sound. And the way that they shot video and did the whole multimedia production, how he started the show from playing like demos solo, and then did a second set where he did all his hits and was like dancing. And this dude's in his 60s and, like doing dance numbers and stuff like that. And then the third set was playing his entire So album, top to bottom, with the original band that recorded it. It was like 25 years ago. And then the last song, John Cusack came out and held the boombox over his head and did like his whole like say anything line. And then they played In Your Eyes. And it was just like, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Prince, but Peter Gabriel, he took it.
Well, that's good.
Oh yeah, it was insane. Yeah.
See, and that gave you some inspiration to do some of your concerts like that.
For sure. Anytime John Cusack wants to come out and hold up the boombox and start off a song, I'm down.
Yes. Go for it.
Yeah.
But definitely. But before we get off, I know time is winding down. Before we get off, can you tell everybody where they can follow you?
Sure. Yeah. Anything Underground Sun. So it's underground, the word underground, and then SUN. And then David Franz, my name, FRANZ. That's the easiest way to get in touch. And if you want to reach out about the record label or anything, we have our website, undergroundsun.com, or hit me up on any of the socials, or so I welcome it.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to say thanks for interviewing with us today. Continue on your grind. I look forward to your music and for the 2021 in June. And also, thanks for being the cover of our January issue.
Oh my God!
Book for you that I am going to give.
That's incredible. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
So, yes. So I definitely want to mail this out to you and get it to you so you can have your own. But I definitely wanted to thank you for it.
So
and
grateful.
Thanks for being a part of our platform today. Definitely.
I really, really appreciate it. It's been an honor. I appreciate it, CC. And thanks, Mickey. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, definitely have a blessed Tuesday and be safe out here. Hopefully it get better. We'll be able to get out sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you guys do great. Feel great out there. Keep staying safe and all that stuff. And maybe I'll see you in Atlanta when I come down to visit all my peeps down there. So
definitely. Well, Atlanta doesn't close down. They don't. Right. They just open to the world. So they don't even be wearing masks. I have my mask on, but Atlanta stays open to the world. But definitely let me know, and I'll get this out to you this week.
All right. Thank you so much, CC. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.